Oh, we're alive, we're alive. Hello and welcome to Cocination Van TV. I am Bilo, I am your host, and this is Vans Meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. See, football club. What would we be without a bit of optimism? We have to be optimistic. Our team is playing, and we're about to go through the starting 11 because it has come out. Of course, it has. And now we're going to discuss how the team is going to play, and we're going to look at the team as well because, yeah, as I said, the lineup is out, and we want to show the team. And I will also comment, of course, I'll comment on what I think Nabi is trying to do, and who chef of expressions is already complaining, guys, unmade. You can't be negative before the game even starts. People are already like, oh no. Guys, asmen kancane. I am not panicking like some people already are. But yeah, let's talk about this team. So we have to first of all start by looking at the team and what the plan might be. Cross. So a lot of people are not happy about Cross, and Sosman is already asking about the midfield. We're going to talk about that, guys. We're going to talk about that step by step. So let's start with the defense because that's where we start, obviously. So we have Solomon's on the right, Msimango and Miguel in midfield. There's the center back pairing, and then we have Cross. Now, when I saw this, the first thing that came to my mind was I hope that the substitution of Cross, like Cross coming in for Dove, is not because Dove is being punished for the mistake that he made last week, because he was bad. Let's be honest, he was horrible last week. But I don't think that you can then bench him because he was bad last week, because if that was the case, then there are players who would never play for Chiefs again. But I think that he's resting him. He's resting with Dove for Ikeme Sundowns. Because imagine playing with Dove today and then he gets injured and then you have to play Cross in the game next week. So for me, I would rather have a Cross today and then Dove next week, because if something was to happen, we must remember these guys are playing and they're actually not fit at all, right? We know this. Our players are not fit at all. So we know that in terms of their injuries, they I am so sorry. So in terms of injuries, you get injured for 6 months, you come back and you are forced to play for the very next game. What that essentially does is it sends you right back into the injury list, and that's the thing that we saw with other players. And if you look at the log table, it's completely ridiculous. The Chiefs, a big team, are sitting where they are sitting, 9th on the log. 9th. Like, I have to reopen it and search PSL. Let me do this. For some reason, this place has more echo depending on the day. Today I'm feeling the echo. I'm even opening the door so that it's not the walls. Yeah, Chiefs are sitting 9th and they have 23 games. Arrows are behind us with 28 points, 2 games behind. So Arrows could still be ahead of Chiefs. So technically we could be 10th. We could also get relegated. But anyways, let's not get stuck on those things. Umlamul is saying Dove is being reminded that he's not alone in that position. And you know what, Umlamul, I don't even think Dove last week was bad on purpose. I just think for whatever reason, something happened and he was just ridiculously playing nonsense last week. So yeah, I think that's also another thing that happened with Dove. Colin, we're going to midfield now. Colin is saying, I'm not happy with our starting lineup. how can we play without a DM because Mart, he doesn't give us anything. I think that's not true. Yeah, I think if there's a player who's been targeted, Umar, if there's a player at Chiefs who's consistent, it's Mart. He always gives you something. It's just that it's not good enough, maybe for a lot of people. Like Umar is the only player who will be blamed as if he scored 5 own goals for missing a penalty. Footy didn't miss it hit the post. And Umar is the one who plays in that position and actually gives you average performances at best. Other players at Chiefs, they don't give you consistent, even consistently average performances. They give you average, bad, and then not average. They never have averages. It's good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. It's up and down. You never know what you get. Yeah, but if I have Mart, I know I'm going to get my 6 out of 10. It's going to be average, but I'm going to get something from Mart, unlike the other players. Let's talk about midfield. Ososman is saying, I have to be honest, below today's game, we will be punished because of our mistakes, because these guys know how to press. They do know how to press. So Mr. B is saying, I think to have a got a knock, that would make sense. And then Spusiso Soetang is saying, as long as Cross doesn't go forward, but rather stay back, we will be well. I'll go through the tactical board as well. Let me open it, Footy, so that I don't forget. Or should I be fancy and use the one that I pay for, because I pay for that tactical board. So I'm going to open that one, the one that is more fancy. Oh, hey, look at me, fancy my foot. But it is fancy, yeah. Okay, let's go. Tactical board, open. How? It's not opening. New. Chiefs Galaxy, Chiefs. Just gonna write Chiefs and then say okay. Now it's open. It's just that it doesn't have different colors. That's what I don't like. But we're going to go there now. So here we go. Midfield. We have Mart, we have Ngobo, and we have Sereno. So here's what I appreciate. One thing that I said yesterday is that I prefer Sereno to go back and play as a 10. Well, not go back. He's never played as a 10, which is he's always been a 10 who inverts from the left wing into midfield. So that is the thing that he always does for Chiefs. But now, clearly, he's been figured out, and he looks much better now as a 10-10. Like, not inverting anything, he starts there. And then he can drift left, he can drift right. Because if the ball is not coming to the right and he's the winger on the right, he gets bored and then he just looks lost in the match. If he's on the left and then he doesn't get the ball, then he looks lost and then he's out of the match. So if he's central, then he can like put his hand there, put his hand there, wherever the ball is. Since it's central, it allows him that flexibility to move around. Kind of like what they do with Utei Pirates. He's basically free to go wherever around the field. So Sereno should be given that role, and Mushini is back, playing as a second 6 alongside yeah. So that is the thing, and then what Mart gives us, I've already said. Cross must play like we're playing two pala. He must. We're going to look at the tactical board. Where is Castillo? I think Castillo came back and maybe it was too early for him because he came back in the game against Richards Bay. I just hope this Tunisian dude did not get emotional, because when Castillo came in that game, he played and no look pass, he lost the ball. He just didn't look right. He wasn't sharp enough to start the game. So to be in that game against Richards Bay. So I think probably the injury or the coaches realize he's not ready and he's not playing. I hope once again, it's not an emotional reaction of saying, oh, I played you and you gave me nonsense, so I'm benching you. I hope that's not the case. Umvuzo is saying, we need to be tight in the mid and back line. No mistakes or else we'll pay. Everyone is saying the same thing. People are just scared that Chiefs would make mistakes and get punished. Uyanga is saying Mart is consistent. You know what you're going to get from him. He might not be the best player, but he's consistent, and he's got Sereno and Ngobo who are good with the ball, and they're going to fit the wingers. That is my thing. That's one thing about Mart. He is consistent. As you are saying, like I couldn't have said it any better. He will not give you a 10 out of 10, but he will give you the minimum that you require at the very least. And then Ulebong is saying, I'm not just happy about Umlung. I'm not just Kala Umlung. People always complaining about Mark, but if Mteto is introduced by Kala Footway, kumele kudlale bani kanti. Oh dear. And then Thomas is saying Mark is going to be our downfall once more together with Bradley Cross. But has outing tool. Angifuni ukuqhubeka. Without Tele, we are nothing today. We won't dominate the midfield as we used to be. Let's hope Duba can give us something. Khona enye into engizama ukuthanda ukuyicorrecta. Yabo, if you want the striker, if your hope is the striker, thanking him because your hope should be the sixes. Yabo i-six ibaluleke kanjani, at least you are given uNgcobo to be in that position. At least he's in that role. One thing that I don't want to see Mteto coming in if the score is 0-0, because there is Matlo on the bench, there is Shabalala on the bench, there is Vilakazi on the bench. I'm even mentioning him because and then Usanele is saying as long as Sereno plays as a 10, at least chances will be created in the middle. Our custom creative play is not utilized by our strikers, especially through balls. Sembutu namhlanje Usanele. And then Hope is saying if Chiefs lose, I don't know. Me too. I've been numb the whole week. I didn't want to talk about Chiefs. I didn't want to think about Chiefs. It's actually affecting me now. It's that bad. Like there wasn't even that thing of, oh wow, we're playing in Pretoria in Polokwane, you're not going. Because I decided long ago that Polokwane and yeah. Mart is poor guy, but it's Kaizer Chiefs 10 out of 10. This is Kaizer Chiefs. Yeah, give me one player who gives you 10 out of 10 every game except Tuchel. You can't name any other player who gives a 10 out of 10 for Chiefs. Not a single one. After Tuchel, he's the only one who gives you everything. The rest, you can't say that. So I see a scapegoat to Mart about everything. I'm happy with our starting 11. Better Dove from Simango. He's not make sure at all, guys. People who are complaining about Martin Cross, have you seen the bench? Yeah, the bench is worse. So happy Mart, he had a good game against Arrows. He did, and no one is talking about that. Why? Because he missed the penalty. It's as if Dove and everyone else didn't do mistakes. But up front, we have Lilep on the right. We have obviously Utuba as a striker, and on the left, Umodi. It's everything that I hoped for. The only difference is I thought Tsele would be back, so Tsele would be playing instead of Mart. So Tsele is a forced change, so that's understandable. And then you have left back Cross, I'm surprised, but Udove injuries being managed for Ikemia next week, so that's understandable. And then everything else is what I hope for. The only two changes are the ones that seem to be forced. So I'm fine with the starting 11, not even gonna lie to you. If we crosses Lisa somehow, I will say uslisile, but but I can't complain if the coach is managing players, especially with such an important game coming up next week. Uleajo is saying, do you think Castillo might be available against Sundowns? Even if he's available, I wonder how much of a role he's going to play. Because if you want a player to be in a game like the one against Sundowns, you give him minutes in a game before that one. Because then what's going to happen, you bring him on against Sundowns, he will then do the same thing that he did against Richards Bay, which is offer you nothing, basically. So, yeah. Usizo is saying, hopefully our attackers will convert at least 3 of our chances. I know we'll get chances to score. Hopefully we'll convert chances today. Sizo, that is the thing that all of us are hoping for, man. That is the thing that we're all hoping for. Good. Can you just convert? Not even 3, brother. We just want you to convert 2. EPSL, it's not a high-scoring league. So if you convert even 2, we are good. You understand? And then you can be solid at the back. Brendan is saying he should have just started Morris for reference point, playing Ngcobo as a 6, Mark as an 8 or 6. We just talked about players coming back from injury. You start Morris in this game, and then Zobaneki. And here's the thing. Let me. It's time. Just give me a second. I will be back. I wonder if you can still hear me now. I need to get her. Oh dear, TV. I'm here. Oh man, I almost broke the TV. Cishe yawa yonke, the whole 50-inch cishe ngiyohwadla. My heart almost came out. Yeah, I was taking this thing from dining room so that I can do this. What am I trying to do, Bonje? I'm trying to connect this here so that I can show that thing and be able to see, because I'm putting this into and again. So I'm saying that the only issue, or one of the issues of playing Morris, would be that then what you'd have is stop screen. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to share a screen. Share screen. Which part? Window. This is what I'm trying to share. Okay, so yeah, so here we are, right? So this is Chiefs. We're gonna use spread for danger. So this is Chiefs. 2, and then the 3, and then the 1. Okay, select. So we're playing against ETS Galaxy, who also play the same kind of system. We're gonna break it down as we go forward. So I will just leave them as numbers, and I'll put Chiefs and change their numbers. So here we have who? We have number, what does Solomon wear? 18, right? So we have Solomon's, we have Solomon's on the right here, our number 18, right? And then we have Miguel, who wears what? 84. We're playing a quiz. Number 25, right? So that at least you guys can see the numbers and know what I'm talking about. And then across 36. Hi, 36. 36. 48. I'm the goat. See goat. Anyways, marked here, number 8. Just bear with me, because I want to demonstrate this thing. Number 12 here, machine. And then we have number 10 here, which is Sereno. Then we have Lilepo, 99. Then we have Modi here. Modi was 13. Then we have Duba, 46, 36. Yeah, 36. Okay, so this is Chiefs in how they play. Bonke laba Galaxy, I just gave them random numbers. I make them wear number one. So don't mind that. So if, let's say, you're not playing this one, let's say umbeka la ngaphandle tu, and then you play Morris, right? So Morris ukok number about 28. So Morris was not 28. 20 something. So if you put Morris here and you just ask him to be here, that means you're also asking Lilepo to push up. That means you're also asking him to push up. You're also asking Sereno to push up for the second ball. You're asking Ungobo to also push up. Or sometimes what usually happens is Ungobo will stay deep in this shape, and then Solomon's is the one who's going to move up. So either Solomon's Ungenala, and then Sereno is on this side. This is how it looks, Mabedlal. And then these 3 will stay here. So if you're asking Upvuma to basically be the one who kicks the ball from the get-go, which is something I never like. When you kick the ball here, right, and we lose it in this position, you see how many players that belong to Kaizer Chiefs are behind the ball. Why I don't like the ball being kicked long, because now all of a sudden, this guy, let's say Usebelebele, for example, is on the ball. He has this whole pitch. Umshini would have been here maybe. So we lose the ball, and then Usebelebele is here because we decided to kick the ball long. The moment they win the ball, this one pushes up, this one pushes up, this one pushes up. So basically, as they are winning the ball, yes, our midfielders, maybe they can try and tie these 2 up. But lo Usebelebele might tati ball as la. I'm shy. So usedlulile, and usually mayishaya one useshaya two, and then there's usually a run here. So the ball is played here and then they score a goal. This is why I don't like kicking, and this is why, as much as Morris could be a good reference point, but if he doesn't win the ball, we've committed way too many people up here. A whole five, and we're left with five to defend. And these five who are defending, Ungobo is not that great at tracking back. We've established that. Number two, Mart can try and assist, but Iena will also be trying to track people who are running through the middle. So you are in a troubled situation. That is why I would rather we just play the ball, because if we don't play the ball, then we become very exposed at the back. So that is the thing that I don't want to see. Anabi has to play Lilep as a second striker today. Kusho Umpele, he could do that. Do you think we have a striker coach? No, we don't have a striker coach. And I've been saying that maybe a striker coach could help Chiefs. Very poor lineup. This is the last game for Nabi. Why cross Mart and Solomons? Adlaleban instead of Solomons, because Pela Frostla is injured. So who is gonna play at right back? Because there's no one else to play. Guys, niyazi kodwa ukuthi abadlali beChiefs obani abalimele obani abadlali, and adlale uDove ene-injury and then angabibikho for next week, and instead of Marta adlala umthetho who played and we saw ukuthi is bad. I'm afraid I just checked the Galaxy 11. Guys, every team, yabo mina, one thing that I will tell you about Chiefs is that you will always have Chiefs playing against a team that is scary, because if we're being honest, every team that we play against now is scary to us. Reason being, we basically are bad. We're horrible as a team, and every team is gonna look dangerous. If usaba namhlanje, I can't, because these Kaizer Chiefs players and these are not Kaizer Chiefs material. At this stage, Mpelo, I'm nervous because mistakes will be our downfall today. I'm scared for this match. I predict 3-1 TS Galaxy. Mwano, appreciate me saying let's hope Castillo and Nalo will be back soon. We can't face Sundowns without them. That is true, especially Utsel. Our PLO is saying hope our players will cool down and make good decisions, especially in the opponent's area. I fully agree with you there, because I'm worried about Ngobo. I mean, he's got great shooting technique but doesn't shoot that much. Today, he won't even be shooting, by the way. So he won't even be shooting. His main thing will be helping us play the ball. But I hope he does get in a good shooting space and shoot. Those who say Matt had a good game against Arrows must go and watch that game again. His good play is clouded by his passes. In most instances, he passed the ball to the player who's marked. Yabona mina mangithi with this issue, the reason why sometimes is because people have decided to every problem at Chiefs is Mart's problem. So people have decided that. Like Nyamtanda Udupris, guys, you guys love Udupris, but it gives us nothing. Now understand, Dupris is one of those players who does not give Chiefs anything, but no one ever says anything about Dupris. Why? Decide to go to Nyamtanda. Another player that doesn't give us anything, Ulilepo in games. Sometimes I've watched so many games. Ulilepo has moments and then it doesn't give us anything. So yeah, le lineup ngathi a friendly game. Amakhosi sicela 3-point. Mart again, now I'm tired. I wonder what Mart is role at Chiefs. We're at the end of the season, but I still don't understand what he does well. Which always guarantees he may start every match. Yeah, well, one thing that I know for sure when it comes to football is numbers don't lie. So if you ever find yourself having a problem with the player and you don't understand why they're being played, use a website like SofaScore. Use SofaScore and look at his numbers and compare his numbers to other defensive midfielders who play in the league and see. Because I think the biggest problem that people have is the eye test. Like, as Kulmenji, let's be frank, Umfundo Vilagazi, so far this season, he's had moments. He's never had a game where he was maybe one or two games where he came on and he was completely dominant and asserted and helped the team come back and win the game. If you exclude the game the early on in the season against the Gallants, yeah, Yeah, Marumu Kalantwe even scored a goal. And you look at other games, he does come in and then there's a spark here and there, but then he disappears sometimes. But ngoba mnandi naturally, you can see kulofana lo yalazi ball. Everything else that he does, your judgment is clouded. It's the same thing with Usirin. Usirin gets cost ama game. But ngake nisho lutho. Why? Because naturally niyazi ukuthi umnandi. Same thing with Frosler. He's very good on the ball, technically brilliant, but he will give you nothing in some games, or in most games, I should say. But since emnandi, your judgment is clouded. So ngicina ukuthi umdlalo emnandi ngisho engakwenzeli lutho. So that is the thing, ukuthi people must also ask themselves, ukuthi how do you judge people and their performances? Because yeah, but we move. And then at this point, Usosman, at this point, Bill, it's important to get points, because if you lost, that would be bad. And then Mr. Fab is saying, and Mart has been Chiefs for how many seasons, but you still rate him 5 out of 6 at Kaizer Chiefs, guys. Be serious. Rate other players as well. Talk about other players. Talk about other players who are not consistent. What I know is that CS Galaxy will score today. Inabi needs to be serious and tell the players to be serious about the game. They must show that they want to win the game. They play like they don't care. And the confidence is gone as well. 3 factors might affect our game. Spele Lemkos is saying the way Mart is as a player, he is more of a pivot. He depends more on the 8 or a 10 to make runs up and down the spaces and then progress the ball forward. Now he does a lot of back passes. Uspelele Koza is saying because they are the safest, because ukupula ama window is risky, the problem, since it also sometimes doesn't recover well. And then suddenly saying, guys, let players play. No matter the analysis, if we're not ready, we won't win. Kaizer Chiefs 4, TS Galaxy 0. Lerato. I like the optimism, Lerato. I love it. I love optimistic fans. Yeah, I love it. I love that. And then, where are we? Where are we? Let's make sure of one thing here. Let me check. Trying to make sure Guti. Okay, we're good. Usbelebele is not available, he's suspended. Yeah, I was making an example with him, Guti, if it was him. Samuel Otenzel, okay. The guy like smart-ish, but let's watch and see. Instead of Mart, Blom can be played. He wasn't given a chance as a 6 and a 4. Guys, as a Blom mina ngiyamthanda. UBlom mina ngiyamthanda ngomtshela nje iqiniso. I love uNjabulo Blom. If you go to the page, the Coast Nation Fan TV page on Facebook, you will see he's like when he signed again, he resigned with Chiefs. How guys, I was saying, can you like the video? We have like 1,400 views, but we have only 57 likes. That is not right. That is definitely not right. But what I'm saying is, I love Jabulo Blom. You understand? I love him. Like, I love him to bits. As a player, he's just brilliant. But so far for Chiefs, since he came back, it just hasn't worked. Like, it just hasn't worked. I have Iveli saying who's making those numbers. Who's making those numbers? Watch the game and see with how many things happen. No one is making numbers. If they're asking the distance covered, it's a computerized thing. There is a tracker that tracks a player and sees how much distance they cover. No one makes the numbers. It's literally the things that are happening. It's not someone thinking, oh, let me give Umar a 6 out of 10. No. No one is giving them that. It's the numbers that are actually there. He covered this much distance. When they say he intercepted the ball 5 times, it's not someone who says, let me think. No, it's actually checked. And it's done for every player across the world. So check Abu Sofa score and check how the players do. What's your name on your Facebook page, Bill? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And then I saw Wishmart scores again today to silence who makes him a scapegoat. We're trailblazer. Let me tell you something. I think what I'm gonna do, what I will try and do, if whenever I see something like someone saying a comment about Mart. I will read the comment, I will read it, but I won't comment on it because I know people have already made up their minds about Mart. People have already made up their minds about certain players. I know Msai Bagabaga is saying, cross for a game like this, I'm sorry for y'all because TS Galaxy look fan blazing. You know what, Nomsa? One thing that I'm optimistic about, Uguti, when I look at Chiefs, let me show the board. The only thing that we can depend on, okay, I want to do something else. I want to stop screen sharing and share this other screen. So I want to show you what I've been wanting to show this whole time. So if Chiefs will play like this, you can bet on this. So they will have Mart, they will have Ungobo, they will have Umekwel here. We're playing out from the back and we'll have him. Oh, Umekwel plays on the left. So they will play like this and then Okros will stay here. And then the ball, hopefully they try to play the ball from here and then we can maybe have Modi coming to collect. And TS Galaxy being TS Galaxy, these are the two ways that they can press us. Watch it and tell me if it happens. So they either pressing this 4-4-2, am I missing a player? So if they push up the line maybe up to here, which is usually where the line is, and then Lilepo gives us width, Solomon's kind of gives us width again, and maybe these ones, because these two will rotate, one can be wide, one can be here. So let's say we start with him here, and then Lilepo inverts, and then we have Duba here, right? Duba is central, then we have Sereno also just ready to be here, because usually you'll want this rotation between the left back, the winger, and the 10. So the 10, one of them could be here, one of them could be here. So they have that triangle. But Chiefs doesn't do this recently. They started this when Titlok was there. So they would keep Titlok here, left back, which is what they've been doing as well with Tutovi. They keep him here. So that even if we progress the ball and Modi no Lokunja are rotating in this area. So if we are in the situation like this and we have the ball and we have these situations, or maybe we lose the ball, we will still have three people at the back and long nega hambe up and down, because imagine if we lose the ball and we're in the situation whereby it's only 1-2 defenders. It was a bigger problem when we're defending like this, and then he's dispossessed, and then now Low sends a baller, Low has to come across, and Low sends a Rani, and then it's a cross, or like against Super Sports, and then crosses go into the box, and then the defender at the post comes in and he scores. But now that we have this situation, this sort of situation where we're staying with the back three, it might just be a redeeming thing, because also one thing about Ukros is that in him staying back, Chiefs will have that kind of balance at the back to say, okay, we have a bit more numbers. Unless, of course, Chiefs decides, which they've done with Umteto, to say, Cross, go forward, and then this one covers for him, which is a problem, because now you have this one on his own when we're building up, just being there. And also if we're defending and it's just the only one who has to mark these two guys, which essentially becomes 4, because Solomon's Mine Echo, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So our main priority as Chiefs today is trying to make sure by all means necessary that we push these guys back. But it's not easy against TS Galaxy. So I think that the coach should at least Solomon's inverted, because I would say play him here, so that if we lose the ball in these areas, if we lose the ball, let's say here, it's easy for him to try and mark or block passing lanes around here. Because if he's here, I don't trust Ulilepo to, in his counter pressing, he's not that great. But at least there's Utuba who will do the counter pressing. And also if Ulilepo is here, we can also shift into this form of a 4-2-4, whereby we're now playing, if we're being safe. I don't think we'll be safe, so let's just forget that. But if we're being safe, Chiefs could play something like this. These four would stay. Wait, where's the left back? Where's the left centre back? Or would have something like this, which, as we know, will not happen. But we could have these two playing here, and then Sereno could be drifting to the left and to the right. But you don't want Sereno here, so it collapses. The argument collapses on itself, unless, of course, you put Sereno here, and then you take Umart, he covers for Solomons, and then Solomons can be here. And in that way, you have two players in midfield who can be controlling here what we do with the ball, and then Aboduba dropping here to link up, and then you can have that beautiful triangle there. And if the ball is this side, and then you can have this one. Problem is with Test Galaxy, when you're playing with them, this one will drop. So now, then this one also drops. So now it's 1, 2, 3, 4 players versus 3 players, which now is going to force this one to come here so that this one can join the party, maybe from this side and then this side. Now you have a problem because now you have Mart being way too, being way too wide, and you don't want that. You want him more central. So that is why they end up just going with the 3-2-5, which is a system that works. You know what's funny? I'm saying it works because it creates chances for us. And funny enough, I was watching Pirates. I'm even stopping on this comment canonsa because I was watching a Pirates, and I look at them and I'm like, Pirates plays the same system as the Chiefs. So today, for Pirates, for example, it was Marco here, it was Mbogazi, it was CBC. And then here it would be Makaula and Bata. And then it was Tito here joining in. And then here it was Mahoba. And then who was on the right? Nkota here. In fact, Nkota was wide. And then Van Rijn is here, or they rotate. They're like that. And then on the left, they have Fukeng sometimes inverting. It's the same 3-2-5. The Sundowns, you watch them, it's the same 3-2-5. They play the same type of football. So it's just that for Chiefs, then equality, then they end up looking bad. Test Galaxy have a psychological advantage because Chiefs' morale is way too low. Chiefs, that is true. There is a psychological advantage. I can't argue it. I'd like to see Blom coming in the second half for either Ngobo or Mark. I still think Blom can make us tick in that middle, especially when paired with that. I've been wanting to see that. Guys, now even Lukaku is saying that Villagas is not being used effectively. That's why he's not improving. Nithanda kabi blame coach for his zabadlali. Villagas has been played as a winger. Comes in, does nothing. In fact, when the season was starting, he was even getting more minutes, like for my 30 minutes, for my 20 minutes. His minutes have now been reduced because he doesn't do anything when he comes on. Sebeke bamdlala njenge-10 bamqalisa amagame akangenza lutho. So le man who keep all you want. Sirin was bad last game apart from assist to Mart. He did absolutely nothing. That is true. He did nothing, but you won't hear anyone saying anything. Chief should promote Hlongwane and McCarthy. Kule Mesle. Alerato is saying Chiefs 4, and then Edward is saying Kaizer Chiefs 0, Galaxy 3, because I don't trust Chiefs. Also line up is like a friendly game. I'm saying look into your teams, you see they are doing well. They are, because they are playing with confidence and there's no pressure. There's pressure here to senior team. Abalandeli bethu bakujikela manje. Abalandeli beChiefs bakujikela manje. Khonocela ukuthi ngirecap lineup, remove. And then I should say what konje. Stop. Nansi lineup yokugcina. Here's the lineup for people who just got here. Here's the lineup. So lineup in goal we have Bruce Vuma, right back with Dylan Solomons, left back with Bradley Cross, centre back pairing with Simango and Nasu Mikweli. Double pivot Kangcobo and Mart. Vudu Sirino as a 10. On the right you have Lilepo, on the left you have Modi, and up front you have Duba. And then Kuma reserves zetu we have Kunika, who's just there always Kuma reserves. We have Kunika, Untwari, Edmilson Dove, Unjablo Plom, Matlow, Umthethwa, Ushabalala Mduduzi, Umoris Tashrik, and Vilagazi Mfundo. So that's the team, and I hope that when we come back and we talk at halftime, we'll be in a much better situation. So we will see. We'll see, and I will see you guys at halftime. Hopefully we are leading don't wanna be crying at halftime. I will see you at halftime, guys. And there's